we see the opposite here in Jonah. Like this is arguably the least xenophobic text in the Hebrew Bible.
Then they cast lots. What are casting
Right,
lots?
right. So lots are this. The technical term kleromancy. It's widely attested in the Hebrew Bible. We see it all over the place. We saw it when we talked about Esther with the Pur, because Purim, when Haman cast Pur to um, choose the day in which he was going to commit genocide. We have it's a different word here in Jonah that is used a lot more often in the Hebrew Bible. But this terminology seems to be almost explicitly used in Israelite areas. So by painting the picture of the crew casting lots, it kind of shows them as being skilled in Israelite practice. And we should kind of compare these sailors with the Ninevites that we see later. Like these sailors, like cast lots, they do their thing and they figure out like what's going on. And they figure out like, oh, this Israelite God is who we should be worshiping. And these foreigners are portrayed in this very, very positive light, which is very notable. So I think, and we see that later. Like we don't just see that in the casting lots. We see that later in them worshiping the Israelite God. But to answer your question, casting lots is essentially the same as like drawing a straw, but using just a old fashioned way of doing it.
So it's divination.
Of some form, yeah. Um,
It's a type that usually involves a random process. So some roll dice, some pick cards, straw or stock, rustling tree leaves. Okay, so but chance.
yeah. It's drawing straws. They drew straws to figure out who's to blame, and it fell on Jonah.
That is so funny
Mhm.
because was completely chance. And then Jonah draws the shortest straw and has to be like, so here's what happened. I kind of got a prophecy from God and I have to go to Nineveh. I don't want to. So this storm is because I don't want to go to Nineveh. And
Yeah,
he's like, you can throw me overboard, but because these sailors are like, we don't want your blood on our hands, they're trying to figure out something else. They're trying to save this man who has turned away from his God. And they're showing such mercy and compassion, even though their lives are in danger.
yeah. No, it's this portrayal of these sailors who are not Israelites being extra pious and extra good towards Jonah, which is not a depiction that we would expect. Um, it's very common in these texts to be fairly xenophobic, but we see the opposite here in Jonah. Like this is arguably the least xenophobic text in the Hebrew Bible.